All right, so in this video, as you can see, we are going to be talking about some of the things we talked about in the last video, which was the big mistake that women make when on their fertility journey. So today I'm going to be sharing with you why so many women make this mistake and what you can do about it. So first of all, if you're new here, I'm Natasha Winter. I am a natural fertility coach. I help women to conceive and improve their fertility over 35 naturally with my holistic methods, right? So if you have low egg quality, diminished ovarian reserves, really anything fertility related, but I really like working with women who have low egg quality. So for you mamas, this video is going to help you to avoid making the big mistake that we talked about in the previous video. So if you haven't watched it, make sure to take some time and go watch it now. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe because I am always wanting to go more regular and I'm actually starting to do that, right? So today we're going to be talking about, again, how to, or why so many women make the fertility mistakes that we discussed yesterday. Just for a quick recap, the mistake that women make is operating in a stressed out state or operating in a stressful mode. Okay, so why is that? Why are so many women overworked, overwhelmed, okay, and unsatisfied with their fertility journeys? Well, if you watched my video yesterday, I touched on, what some of those reasons were. Number one, obviously they're already stressed. And so as a result of being stressed out, you're going to continue to make stress out or choices that make you more stressed out, right? But the reason behind that is, again, we live in a society that really encourages stress. So it's no surprise, right? We live in a society that encourages hustle mode. It encourages, ride or DIE. It encourages, being burnt out, like just doing whatever, just producing, just work, and like I love that song by Rihanna. But honestly, as women who are trying to conceive, that is not the way to go. And so if we look even deeper as to like why does this culture, the society, Western culture, okay, promotes so much again, hustle mode. One is because it's a very male-dominated society, okay? So male-dominated society is going to come with male sort of thought patterns and habits, which is going to come with actions that are very masculine, that are very, again, male-centered and centric and things like that, right? And if we look at like how a man thinks, and maybe like, most males who are straight, for them, they thrive, right? They thrive in going harder. They thrive in using logic. They thrive in showing their strength and, just being a very just workaholic type of, sort of having that mindset, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Men, that's how they function. Their testosterone increases when they do things like that. It builds their testosterone. It helps them. So if you're, maybe if you have somebody maybe you have a man in your life and the fertility issues is not happening. It could be that maybe he's in his soft male era or he's in his low testosterone era. So he might need to, get up and do some things that really build testosterone. And a lot of that is things that build muscle endurance, things like debating with each other and things like that. And listen, if you are at all familiar with the conscious community, I will say it is very male-centric. There's a lot of debates happening. There's a lot of egos thrown around, right? And the issue with that is a lot of women are drawn into that, and then we end up operating in a masculine energy. On the flip side, if you're not familiar with that, that's fine. I just wanted to point that out because there are a lot of women that when I do talk about, holistic fertility, natural methods, a lot of women are also aware of, again, that community, right? So I just want to point that out because I think most women make the mistake, okay, of being in a more masculine energy. Okay, and that's what it is. Most women. So it's not just you on your fertility journey. So you're not isolated here, and I'm not singling you out. This is like most women all across the board. Remember, I said we live in a society that promotes this, right? So what that means is that even for women who are high achievers, even for women who are on their, and are on their fertility journey, just because we have this trend now where it's like, feminine femininity and things like that, you are not exempt from sort of still being in this male centered thought. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but really what I want to say is that the reason why most women make that mistake is because they're operating in masculinity. And this is like this goes centuries back as to like how we even got here. But that is like the core as to like what is really happening in a woman that will cause her to be operating in stress and not be able to do anything about it. Because if you're operating in a certain mentality, you might not be able to see what's happening, right? And so again, masculine energy is more, again, logic, it's more hustle, it's more, brute force, it goes on, right? Whereas feminine energy is more receiving, it's more flow, it's more relaxed and reserved, okay, and receptive. And a lot of women struggle with that, right? So one of the ways to come out of, a more stressful fertility journey or experience is to shift into a more feminine energy and feminine flow. But not a lot of women know how to do that. And it's even harder if you are a high achiever, if you are a type A type of woman, because you have seen the results that working harder, that working, smarter, even that working more, longer. You've seen the results that it gives you. At the same time, you probably experienced burnout. I know I have. You've probably experienced, what comes with that: fatigue, physical ailments, strain and stress on your body, aging, from the stress itself, gray hairs, weak muscle, like just losing muscles and things like that. Again, because stress, it wears the body down, not just on your eggs, not just on your fertility, but it wears your total body, your total health down, right? So the reason women don't know how to shift out of that is because there's not a lot of pathways. There's not a lot of, again, there's just nothing really out there to really encourage women to really shift into their feminine receiving mode, because masculine energy dominates most of the society that we live in, right? And so what you want to do is you want to start to learn more about what does it mean to be operating your feminine energy. The problem here is that on social media, if you haven't seen, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of pushback. And this is not just in social media, this is just in the world in general. There is a lot of fight and a lot of force, okay, to push this masculine energy on you and to prevent you from tapping into your feminine energy and being in that mode. You don't get rewards for being a feminine woman. You don't get rewards for being on a feminine fertility journey. You don't get rewards for being on a femininity journey very much in this society and on social media or anything like that, right? And even right now, there's like a flip happening in the femininity community on social media, where a lot of women, they are reneging and they're dumping their channels, they're giving up on their fertility, or sorry, they're giving up on their feminine energy, um, content and campaign, like whatever they're doing that had the term femininity in it, they're trashing it. They're getting rid of it, or they're just changing their content and things like that, and they're shifting over to different things. And on one end, I get it. There's a lot of drama. Again, just because people are on a feminine journey doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of masculine energy, which can make it very difficult and very hard for someone who wants to just normally and naturally tap into her femininity. But again, there's not that much out there. So if you're the one putting this sort of content out, and I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but just bear with me for a second. If you are the one putting out that content and you don't know how to shift from your masculine to your feminine energy, and you genuinely just don't want to deal with the pushback, then it's going to tear you down. It's going to wear you out. And so for one, I support any woman who just doesn't want to deal with that, because again, it's tough, and for most women, that's not what you signed up for. On the flip side, with there potentially being less of that sort of content out there, it brings us back to the problem that we're in, which is a lack of, again, positive feminine energy content. Now, there is a lot of positive feminine energy content. It just has to come without the drama. It has to come without, all of the other stuff. And it's there. I'll let you know that. It is there. It just might not be on YouTube. Okay? Say that. You might have to head somewhere else for that type of stuff. But, and really, this stuff really comes from within, right? And so that's the problem. Most women simply don't know how to tap within themselves when faced with fertility. When faced with fertility challenges, fertility struggles, we have been trained to go to seek outside sources, meaning to go to your doctor, to go to this so-called reputable source, to go to this other, individual in a white coat, a lab, to go to these other people who usually are men. Okay. Hope I didn't just mess things up. Usually are men, white male at that, okay, and not in tune, are not, like, don't have your fertility interests at heart. But there are still methods, right? So I don't want you to just think it's like a lost cause. It's definitely not a lost cause, okay? Women are thriving in their feminine fertility era. I'll just let you know that. And there is definitely things you can do to get around that. So I know I said a whole lot. Like, I'm just kind of like dumping on everything I know, but not everything I know, but like just dumping from a lot of other outside areas. But I just want to like give some context as to like what's actually happening now, and let you know that it's not just, again, this is not just happening in a vacuum. It affects pretty much all women around the world, right? But transitioning from, again, that forceful mode, trying to force your fertility, that alone is going to cause you a whole bunch of stress. And guess what the IVF industry is built on? It's built on forcing your eggs, forcing you to produce more eggs, forcing those eggs to be of a certain quality, of a certain, they have to be a certain measure. They have to be about, I think it's, I'm going to try to remember, I think it's like 8 millimeters thick. They also have to force your uterine lining, to be about 10 to 11 millimeters thick, and trilaminar. Okay, but basically trying to force your body to conceive. Then they gotta force the egg to stick in the uterine lining. Then they gotta force your progesterone to stay high. Then they gotta force you to hold the baby. And then after that, you're forced to probably have a cesarean section, and then you are continued to be forced. Okay, so it's a lot of force happening in the IVF world. There's a lot of force happening with, donor eggs, and, just the whole fertility industry for the most part that is not holistic, not feminine energy based, right? And so that's, again, what makes me different, what makes my offers different, is I infuse feminine energy, femininity into my offers and my services. And it just takes it just takes the headache away. It makes things easier, like everything down to the routines that you do, down to how you go about improving your fertility and your egg quality is all based on more of a holistic feminine energy receptive state, okay, that is science based and as well also, helps you to tap into your ancestral wisdom and use methods and techniques that our great ancestors would have used, provided they were not also technologically advanced and obsessed with that stuff. Hence, why those cultures do not exist anymore. I think just the whole technological base is very male driven, and now you have AI when it comes to choosing the best eggs, which I don't believe that they can, because even for AI to choose the best eggs, which is what's used for IVF, even for that to happen, they're still basing it on eggs that have been reviewed by a human eye. Okay. And so there's no real way to tell that the eggs are fertile just by looking at a picture of the eggs. You can make an assumption, you can make a guess, but the only real way to tell is to actually have a baby, right? So again, that's one reason why you cannot just accept when your doctor tells you that you have, low egg quality or poor egg quality or all of these things. Because one, you can improve your egg quality. Two, even if they look at your eggs, if the egg hasn't been fertilized, if the egg hasn't implanted, like there's really no way to tell. You see what I'm saying? There's no test for egg quality. There's a test for AMH, and I've made videos about that. There's a test for, your hormone levels, your other hormone levels, LH, whatever. But there's no actual test for your egg quality, right? But what's happening is like this psychological trick to make you believe and feel that you are running out of time, which puts on the pressure and doesn't give you the chance to make even a logical decision. So even if you wanted to fully operate in this masculine energy, you're not really given that opportunity, right? Because again, a lot of masculine energy is built on force, sometimes intimidation, sometimes manipulation. So I say there's a lot of that happening. Whereas when you're in your feminine energy and you're going about your fertility journey, okay, number one, you're not going to just keep making decisions and choosing fertility treatments that are going to cause you more stress and more fertility, anxiety and pain and trauma down the line. But when you're operating in your feminine energy while on your fertility journey, you are allowing your body to do what it's designed to do. You're not forcing it, okay? You are giving yourself the time and the space for the fertility options that you choose to work. Whereas in the masculine IVF route, traditional, conventional route, you're not given a choice. You're told that IVF is your only option. Like literally told IVF is your only option. Okay? That's a criminal offense. That shouldn't even be happening. Like, how dare somebody tell you this is your only option? Sign here. Take this medication. Open. Okay. Yeah, we gonna stick you. Yeah, I'm sorry it didn't work. Pay that money again. That's if that's what you want, look, choose what works for you. Because maybe some people, maybe that's a less stressful option than actually learning when you ovulate, eating healthy, resting and relaxing. Maybe for these people, that is a less stressful option. Just being stuck with a needle, having to drive to clinics and go through procedures and do surgeries and things like that. Maybe learning about your body is just too much. And I would totally get it. I would totally get it because you've been programmed since probably your preteens that infertility is inevitable, right? So why would you tolerate anything else, right? And so really, it's a bigger issue than, I really wanted to talk about. Like, I just wanted to come on here and just be like, the reason why women are operating in stress is because they're operating in their masculine energy. but it's deeper than that, right? But let this just be like an eye opener and a beginner sort of, pathway to maybe you exploring more about your fertility options that don't have to be stressful. Like, what does that look like? Because your fertility journey does not have to be stressful. It does not have to be painful. It does not have to look like people with white coats standing over you telling you that you don't have no options, right? And like I know that obviously, I'm painting a picture here, but like I also want to paint a picture for you of a very pleasant and pleasurable fertility journey. I want you to be able to visualize yourself experiencing a more peaceful and effortless fertility journey, one where you're not really having to do that much different, okay? Because if you make the choices and you have a plan in the beginning, and you're just making small choices to your lifestyle, small choices to your diet and how you use your energy, then you can just go about the rest of your life like normal, right? But first, you have to, again, sort of have that plan in place and commit to the plan and be able to implement it and give your body the time it takes in order for it to conceive. And just to put that out there, it takes your eggs about 90 days to improve, right? Something that your doctor is probably not going to tell you about. I'm probably going to make a video. It's actually over here. I'm probably going to make a video and post that over here, okay? What your doctor doesn't want you to know, or, the title will be there. But again, these are just some things that you're not being given the option to learn about, right? So I really would love to hear from you, like if you have noticed that. Have you noticed how sort of traumatic and painful the fertility or the IVF journey is? How traumatic it can be. Like maybe if you had a miscarriage, or you've gone through IVF and it didn't work out, just how traumatic that can be to not have any support through that or during that, and to just feel like, again, you're on this journey by yourself. Another thing I wanted to mention is, again, especially for women who are high achievers, type A, there's actually a study that shows that your job, or, again, whatever you choose as your career, can have an effect on your fertility because it's causing you so much stress. There's also another study that can show that, again, stress causes changes in your menstrual cycle. And there's also studies to show like the psychological sort of like connection between, again, what's going on psychologically and then how that affects your menstrual cycle. So I'll post those studies below so you can take your time and you can research them, okay, on your own, because I just want you to be able to make conscious decisions so you can improve your chances of conception on your time. But nobody should be forcing you and telling you time is running out or how much time you got or making you feel guilty for choosing the career or the option that you did. Really, if you chose to build your career and to wait until you're 40 to conceive, that's not something that you should be feeling bad about. And like I said yesterday, this is a developing sort of topic that I want to make a longer video about, like literally just talking about how a lot of women have been, again, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and sort of trained to believe that they had to have a baby before they reached 35 or 40, otherwise they were going to be infertile. Again, my basis for that is that if I can help women to conceive in 90 days or less, like forget 90 days, like I could help women to conceive in 2 months, then what the hell? Like I'm not talking about women who were having miscarriages, recurrent miscarriages, and were never able to actually have a big pregnancy that stuck. Women who were experiencing secondary infertility for over 10 years. Women who never even had a pregnancy scare while they're having a whole marriage, they're in a whole relationship. So if I can do that in less than 90 days, 60 days, like what can we not do if we were being given holistic fertility education at the time that we received information about like the menstrual cycle and things like that, like, you know, in school and things like that. So I really believe that um, there's a bigger sort of hand at play as to how women are ended up infertile or so-called infertile at 40 in the, you know, in the first place. I think this is orchestrated. I wanted to discuss it. I think it's orchestrated. I think it's orchestrated because otherwise there shouldn't even be something called a fertility industry, because it should just be like, you're 40. We said you're going to not be able to have a baby at 40, and you're just not able to have a baby at 40. So take this adoptive baby. And don't get me wrong, because a lot of people like to misconstrue what I'm saying. Like literally, I'm saying that's what you would think that they would be telling us if what we were told at 9 or 12 years old was true. But instead, we have a whole fertility industry. We have women who are, you know, going for IVF, going for IUI, ICSI, whatever treatment, natural IVF. They're trying real hard, okay? They're even calling it natural IVF. Like, come on, give me a break. Is her eggs going to naturally swim up in my ovaries? No. Okay, so it's not natural IVF. It's not natural. Anyway, you get my point. But so yeah, so you know, I think that there's a lot more thought that really needs to be put into your fertility journey if you really want a more easy and effortless and peaceful and like luxurious experience. Like your fertility journey can be just as luxurious, you know. And when I say luxurious, I don't mean like you have to spend a whole lot of money or buy a whole lot of material things. I mean, you know, some people are out here planning their weddings. They are planning their life. They are planning on how they can have like a year of soft era, a year of self-care. And I'm saying you can have a year of feminine fertility, soft life, feminine fertility era. You know what I'm saying? Like your fertility journey does not have to be rough and tough. It does not have to leave you with scrapes, bumps, and bruises and trauma. Like, just think about it. Your fertility, the IVF fertility journey is leaving women with fertility traumas that they need to unpackage, that they need to heal from, all while you are supposed to be carrying home a baby that you now have to raise, nurture, care for, while you're reeling from the trauma of what IVF just put you through. So if I do talk on again that topic, I will definitely post it here, let y'all know, and hopefully you'll be able to like sort of chime in on that. So yeah, you know, I think the reason why so many women are stuck in survival mode, but that's what it is survival mode. The reason for women have all these fertility issues are experiencing so much fertility stress is because they're stuck in survival mode. When shifting out of survival mode into thriving mode, into feed and breed, okay, will help you to not have to experience so much fertility stress and anxiety in the first place, right? And if I'm saying that word too much, I understand that like just saying that word can cause more of that thing, but sometimes you have to again unpackage something and like look into it so that way it doesn't affect you as much as it does, right? So again, shifting out of survival mode is going to help you to start to thrive. It's going to help you to start to like really live, like really start to experience and even create the fertility experience that you want, because it shouldn't be struggling to conceive. Why is struggling to conceive the hashtag that dominates the fertility like online community thing? Like women have worn the badge, I'm a fertility warrior, I'm struggling to conceive, as though it is some type of honor. We're talking about fallen soldiers here on the question. It doesn't make sense. We're talking about women who are literally on the battlefield of fertility, on the front lines. Ma'am, pass me my smoothie so I can sit back, okay, on this beach and relax and watch the sunset. That is the type of fertility journey that you should be gearing up for. gearing up for your fertility vacation, if you're gearing up for your fertility resort, your fertility spa treatment, your fertility stress escape, like not putting on camo and lacing up your boots so you can go, to WAR with who? With who? With your womb. They got you going to war with your womb, sis. Is that really what you want? Because the last time I checked, your womb was not at war with you. Our wombs are not at war. Like, look at this. This little thing here. It's not trying to do nothing to me. It's not. It's not warring with me. So your womb should not be warring with you, and it's not warring with you. If anything, your womb is trying to tell you, I can't handle all of that trash you're giving me. Like your womb's trying to clear the trash out. Like it's just clearing the trash out. So if you feel like you're being fought and going to war during your menstrual cycle, it's just clearing the trash out. It's just clearing all the dump that you've been putting inside of it. Okay. And this is not to attack or anything like that, to attack you or to say anything negative, but I'm just letting you know that there may be some things that you're doing that your womb was not designed for. It cannot handle. It's just too much. And so as a result, your womb is having to work harder than it should. Okay, because now your womb has to go into overdrive. Your womb now has to tap into this masculine energy and just start to fight for its life. Okay. So again, operating in stress, operating in this sort of masculine energy, it's not just a surface. It doesn't just happen on the surface. It's not like, oh, I just need to get this work done. I just need to put in these extra hours. Or if I could just research all these blogs tonight, then I'll figure out what I can do to improve my fertility. If all the research that you're doing, if all of the supplements that you're taking, if all of the overwork that you are overworking yourself and overwhelming yourself, if after all of that you are not coming to the conclusion that I need a different approach, then let me be the one to tell you that it is okay to just stop the fight. Just stop the war. It's okay to just take a break. It's okay to try something new. It's okay to rest in your feminine energy. It is okay to receive. Okay, I'm gonna talk more about that, but I don't want to keep this video going too long. I feel like it wasn't as clear, concise, and succinct as I wanted it to be. But I think I dropped some jewels. So hopefully this video has helped you to see what may be behind some of the stress that you've been experiencing, and maybe even why you're being encouraged, and I'll just say forced, because it's not encouraged. You're being forced down such a dark and, gloomy road of fertility. Like, you didn't sign up for that. So why is this fertility journey so stressful? Hopefully I've begun to open up your eyes so you can start to see what's behind any of that. If you like my little fit, like, oh my God, I don't know, I'm feeling this little bodysuit, let me know in the comments. It's total sidetrack. But yeah, so like even doing things like this, like just changing like how you sort of dress on a casual day. I know this is not it's not the most, right? It's just a little skirt and a little bodysuit, but like I think the color is going well with my skin and the little contrast. Like just doing things that make you happy. These are some things that you can do to start to shift yourself out of that toxic energy, that toxic fertility energy. We're gonna call it that. Okay, there's toxic masculinity, there's toxic fertility. Okay, there's also toxic femininity, so don't get me wrong. I'm not out here telling you that you should just go put on, all types of toxic nail polish and makeup in order to sort of tap into your feminine energy. I think at some point, some of that stuff, it just becomes toxic on a woman's body, especially when you're trying to conceive. Maybe if you're not trying to conceive, it doesn't matter. So don't come for me for that. This video is not on, it's not for that. But really, if you are in your feminine energy and you want to do that, seek out the most seek out the most, natural, holistic products, and If there's none available, just don't use them while you are preparing your body for the 3 months that it takes to conceive. It's simple. It's really that easy. Okay, you might have to just go no nail polish, no makeup. Okay, be careful what you put on your skin. So anyways, I think I'll make a whole other video as to like what you can really do to dive deeper into how to shift into your feminine energy a little bit more. But again, doing whatever you can to sort of lean more into just being in your receptive mode. And by that, I mean, listening to your body, okay, not forcing your body to do anything, listening to your body. So if your menstrual cycles are hard, start to see what have I ate this month or consumed this month, that may be toxic or harmful for my womb or my liver or just on your body in general. What have your thoughts been, for this cycle or this month? Have you been telling yourself positive affirmations, or have you been having negative self-talk? Okay, because even negative self-talk can have an effect on your body. Just like you want to listen to your body is listening to you. So I want you to start to think of your body and your womb and your fertility system, okay, as a biofeedback system, because that's what's happening here. Your body really is a biofeedback system, whereas a man's body is not. And so what I mean by biofeedback system is like, for example, in order to menstruate, you need to ovulate. In order to ovulate, you need to menstruate. People argue me on that, but really I'm generalizing and simplifying here. But hormonally, your brain sends messages for your body to, again, build the uterine lining, produce the egg to ovulate, which becomes an ovum, which releases hormones that tell your body that you're either pregnant or you're not. And as a result, it releases back signals to your brain to start the cycle all over again, okay? So our body's a biofeedback system, okay, as above as it is below. So start to treat your body that way and operate that way. That is one major key, okay, to start to shift out of the stress and survival mode. It's to start to operate in receiving mode. And in order to receive, you have to listen. You have to be open. You have to be sort of like looking or, anticipating and paying attention to what's going on, feeling, okay, flowing, okay? So think about like every cycle, what did I do this month to become more fertile or to prepare my body for more fertility? What did I eat? What did I think? What did I say? How did I feel? How did I make myself feel? Or what did I do to generate better feelings? Because you can create the feelings you want as well. You can create the environment, okay? You can create the sort of like neurological pathways in order to generate the feelings of peace and safety and ease and effortlessness. And again, your mind can trigger a state in your body that signals to your womb, that signals to your body that now is a safe time to conceive. Because that's what's happening with all of that other stuff, okay? All of that other sort of forcing your body to conceive and the operating in stress, all that is doing is reaffirming to your body that now is not a good time to conceive. You're in danger. You're not safe. Don't do it. Shut down. Okay, which is why stress is released, or stress releases cortisol in your body, and cortisol, being that it operates on the same pathway as progesterone, shuts your reproductive hormones down. So if stress and cortisol are using the same pathway and your body is prioritizing your survival, then your survival is going to take priority over your reproduction, okay? So you now have to make a conscious decision to not continue to operate in survival mode, because that's literally what's happening. As above, so below, within, without, like it's literally happening. There's an alchemy, okay? Alchemy. I don't know like how how else to say it? Like our bodies are literally feedback systems as to what we are experiencing and what we are telling ourselves and what we are projecting in the world and what we are allowing to happen, right? And so when I say allow yourself to become more fertile and like allow things, because part of receiving is allowing. Don't ever think that I'm saying that you should just allow for others to do like something to your body that you don't want to, or that you should allow yourself to be sort of like made to think that you should just go along with whatever is being told to you. That's not what I mean. I really mean like allow your body to evolve and to blossom into a more fertile state because it wants to. Okay, your body wants to balance the hormones. It wants to. You just have to give it what it needs. You have to nurture your fertility. Okay, and you have to treat your body almost like you would a baby. So you see that biofeedback system is happening on multi layers, and I think I'm going to end it here because I could go on and on. But so I hope this video helped you. I'm Natasha Winter, your natural fertility coach. I have some links in my description that can help you to go deeper and further into what we've discussed here. Make sure to download my free guide that is going to help you get started on resetting your fertility. Make sure to also sign up for my Science of Fertility webinar as well.